I'm Cameron Aylward. I'm a architecture major here at Keene State. I'm a junior here, and I'm also an eco rep. I've been with eco rep since the beginning of last year, so this is my second year now, and I also worked here over the summer with them. I live off campus where recycling isn't an option made by the landlords, so what I do is I collect all the recycling every week and bring it to the transfer station myself. One of the projects we're working on right now is actually a really cool sustainable movie night that's going to happen every month, hopefully, in which we show a movie pertaining to sustainability, and it's educational so that people can learn really cool things about sustainability and how they can be more sustainable in their lives. I would say one of the best things is the Sustainability Pledge. It's really an important introduction for freshmen coming into the school to learn how to be sustainable on campus and what a priority sustainability is for Keene State here. Every freshman is required to take it on the way in, and it just shows their commitment to sustainability here at Keene State. One of the huge projects EcoReps has done is working on a campaign called Take Back the Tap, which is trying to get rid of single-use plastic water bottles on campus and promoting the use of multi-use water bottles. But I want to take it further and ban the plastic bag on campus. So one of my passion projects will be trying to remove the plastic bag from eatery places here on campus.
My name's Carrie Gaunt, and I'm the Director of Campus Sustainability here at Keene State College. So sustainability is really an all-hands-on-deck effort at Keene State. So actually, in my role as director, I oversee kind of sustainability operations on campus. When I say operations, I mean looking at the tangible stuff, like how do we heat our buildings, how do we even build our buildings. But I also, in this role, we look at how students and other faculty and staff are engaged with sustainability and trained around sustainability. And as well, we have a really large role in terms of looking at academics. So in my role, I really work to facilitate people in their jobs on campus to bring a sustainability culture and ethic and practice into what they do, whether it's academics or whether it's operations. For me, this is something I'm really fortunate. I'm somebody that found something that I love really early in life and have been able to pursue it as a job for a long time. So truthfully, I think I got interested in sustainability when I was a kid. I grew up on a small farm in Virginia, and we had a creek running through our farm, and I noticed, just by being there, and I just loved the creek, and I loved the farm, I loved the land, I'm very outdoorsy, but, the changes in water volume, sometimes the creek would be really polluted, and I was very curious, well, what's going on with that? And so I was one of those kind of nerdy science kids in high school and started doing science fair projects and did all of my research on the creek and just came to really understand the influence of polluters, frankly, and that this was at a time when there was some significant pollution problems, and that sparked my interest. So when I went to undergraduate school, I went to Williams College, and I got a double major, but one of those majors was environmental studies, and then right out of graduation, I got a job in the environmental field, and have really been pursuing that ever since. I did most of my work with federal and state and local governments and regional watersheds, but then about 15 years ago decided, wow, I'm really interested in the potential of higher ed to make change, and so kind of shifted my career to doing higher ed sustainability, so that you could really come to Keene State and the curriculum would be such, and this will take several years to implement, but the curriculum would be such that if you knew that you were interested in getting a job in the environment or the sustainability field, you'd have a clear path. And your clear path would be coursework, but it would also be employment with the sustainability office that would be credit-bearing, as well as financially beneficial. And then we're also looking at creating another, I think this will be fun and interesting. We've just started to think about it. Practical skills, but Professor Gebauer in environmental studies is really interested in this, so that students could also start to learn really practical things like how do you grow food, how do you heat your own home. I'm excited because I think over time, I think it's going to take probably 2-3 years, but we're going to have a really rich and robust and coherent pathway of learning that's both conventional academic learning, but then also practical hands-on stuff. And hopefully, too, it'll be aligned with what we're doing on campus, because there's a whole lot of stuff we're doing on campus with bringing renewable energy on board and other things like that. So hopefully, you'll start walking through campus and you'll start seeing big changes, and you'll say, oh, Keene State's a place that really stands for this, and you can see it in how the buildings look, or the fact that there's solar panels in all the buildings. But at the same time, the classwork should also be such that it could be integrated into, and so there's coherence everywhere. So that's really exciting. It's gigantic, but it's really exciting. Two things that we're working on actively right now are and this will be interesting, and it probably won't happen before you graduate, but some of the fastest growing careers are in we call it green careers or sustainability careers, and we're trying to create 2 new certificate programs for campus, which will be unveiled next year, so it takes a long time for these. But in terms of, I don't know that they'll probably be implemented the year after, but they'll be proposed and hopefully approved next year. But one would be to be trained as a recycling coordinator, which I think is a very cool opportunity, and certainly having a co-op program with Rocks would be awesome. And the other is to be certified as a sustainability specialist, and that's actually a new and emerging field. So that would be someone that would be equipped to come work in the sustainability office here, in a variety of different roles. So these are goals that we came up with last year. When I say we, it was truly a collaborative. I really believe in collaborative leadership and collaborative action. So this was a campus-wide project to come up with these goals and commitments, but they were approved by the cabinet and the president last year, which is very exciting. So, when you think about what's really necessary to do for all of us, whether we're individuals living in our own houses or whether we're institutions like Keene State or businesses, I mean, the truth of the matter is we have to move to a fossil-free future, period. It's not even really negotiable anymore, and there's just so much science that shows the reasons for that. So any action that we take here on campus to have Keene State model leadership in becoming fossil-free is huge and vitally important, both for being a leader in the community, for training students, and for being a good global citizen, and for really making a difference. So the work that we did with getting a clean fuel in the heating plant is huge. As we speak, we've just released requests for proposals from what we call energy services companies, and these tend to be large companies that come in and they take a campus-wide view, and they're I don't need to go into the details, but bottom line is they're going to help us really ratchet up our energy efficiency and energy conservation measures so that these buildings will be tighter or retrofitted, so that we should really have a dramatic decrease in the amount of energy that we actually have to use. And I'm probably going to start in about 2 weeks to start writing requests for proposals to bring solar providers on campus, because I used to heat my house in Vermont with solar, and it's kind of a non-negotiable for me in terms of my own living, moving. We just have to. It's just like a core ethic to me. So being able to achieve the renewable energy goal of, especially if we can even go quicker than 100% by 2050. That would be a crowning achievement. Also, just as an aside, I'm very excited about the sustainability curriculum, so I'd love to leave a mark with that.